Canada.
Well, it's kind of a good thing we took it apart because it probably would have blown up because we put a nest in there. Those shitty fucking mice. So let's clean that shit out. Get this motor ready to run. A little on the rusty side. But nothing the old Ryobi can't handle. Come on out. Alright, let's keep working around. Well, as you can see here, it's a good thing we didn't run this sled this year with all this in there, because it probably would have blown up with no cooling, at least to this side anyways. I don't know, it would have been really, really not good. So let's get her apart, go from there. So the next step is to take these Allen bolts out of the carb boots and the exhaust on the other side. There is gaskets on each side of this metal thing here. So just make sure you don't lose those, or if you have a full engine rebuild kit, don't worry about it. But yeah, that's the next step. These 4 bolts and 4 on the back side, and then all the engine shrouding for the cooling will be taken off, and then we can get to the head and the jugs. So these carb boot bolts are 6mm Allen key. So just get those out. Cracked them loose already, so it's not a big deal. Let's do the other side too, and then this plate should come off. And here we have one that's super stiff, and I don't want it to snap off in here, so I'm just gonna keep working it back and forth until it slowly loosens up. It's gonna be a bad day. That broke off in there, just another step, which we don't want to have to do. So just keep working it like this. Eventually, she'll come out. There we have it. Both boots are off. I see here I missed another 10mm there, so I'll zip that one off. And then the back plate should come out. I think this is the last one. Okay, there we have the back plate. Some gaskets that are messed up, as well as some debris in there. So very good that we take this apart. Next step is to take these 4 exhaust manifold bolts off, and then this side will come off, and we'll have the cylinders all exposed, ready to take those down. So after you're done taking these off, we'll be back. Well, we snapped this stud off, the exhaust stud, so that's going to be a pain in the ass, and probably going to have the same amount of luck with this side. Let's just see what happens. This one is so messed up it won't even move. Nope. Nope. Okay, so we only lost one. Not too bad. One broken bolt so far. So there we have the exhaust manifold off, and like I said, we broke one, so that's gonna be a pain in the ass, but we gotta try to get that stud out. So we'll use some heat and whatever, we'll try to get it out. See what we can do. Now I'll take this stupid cover off here, as long as we got all the bolts out. And we can start to see our big mess we have to deal with here. Big mouse nest. So start cleaning that stuff up, and we'll get the cylinders off, heads off, cylinders off. So it's another day, and here's our 488. We're gonna pull the head off, pull the jugs off, take a look at stuff, Maybe we'll swap the pistons over right now. Maybe we won't. But let's get it opened up. Let's have a little look at it. That one's tight. Jeez. Oh. Some washers underneath there. I'm going to put these aside so I can put them back on the studs. And these are a different size. Those fit tightly with a 13. And these should only be torqued to about 29 foot-pounds, so shouldn't be too crazy tight. Let's give her a little tap with the rubber mallet. Free that head up. And there we have it. Just gonna put the nuts and washers back on for a sec here, so we don't lose nothing. So there's a flat washer, then a lock washer. And then I'll clean up all these jugs at a different time. For now, let's just open her up. So there's our cylinder head in good shape. Looks like there has been something gone through this. There's a few little nicks in the head here. But I'm not sure if you'll be able to see. It's not perfect, but it's not bad. And here's the other cylinder, and this one also has a couple little nicks in it, so I'm not too sure what went through, but let's examine the bores. I'm going to take off the nuts, the base of the jug. This is a 14 mil, and we'll just back all these off, and I'll bring you back when all the nuts are off. We'll pull the cylinders off. All right, we have the jugs off now, and they actually look pretty good inside. A little hone, there's no big nicks. So just a good hone job, clean them up a bit, and we're good to go. Not bad at all. I was expecting a lot worse for the mileage. But yeah, both cylinders look pretty nice. high mileage, no damage. I'm happy with that. Same with the pistons, they still look, this is the worst one, but this one here almost looks like it's been rebuilt. But yeah, so we're gonna put new pistons in this thing and rebuild it. I clean the head surfaces up with razor blades. These kind of lay it flat and rub the old gasket off. Then you get a perfectly flat surface, no nicks, no gouges, and you have a clean gasket surface for when you reassemble. So I'll just clean everything up here and we'll get back to it. Not too sure, but these pistons don't match. So like I was saying earlier, this one looks like it's new almost. Like there's still little grooves on the side. But it is a little bit scuffed up down here. But yeah, right here looks pretty fresh compared to this one. So I'm guessing that something happened on this side, but I don't know why all these little nicks are still in here. The bottom end seems fine, so we'll have to open her up and take a closer look, I guess. Well, I'm glad we opened this one up. This piston skirt here was about to break off. Big crack in it. And that's the oldest piston of the bunch. Then there was this guy here, which is clearly an aftermarket. And there we go. So we just have to put the new ones on, clean up this gasket surface here first, clean everything up, put the new pistons on, and then jugs. So I already put one piston on the connecting rod, but here's the pistons I'm using, giving them a shot. No idea how they're gonna perform, but Odax Piston plus Segmento. So let's get her done. Got wrist pin, circlips, and the old Piston right there. Got rings separate, but what I will do, I'm gonna install a circlip on the inside side of it. So I'll show you that right now. And these ones here are kind of like half moon with a little,
I know it, letter E.
I don't know if you can see that, but that shape. So you can do it by hand, you don't have to use tools. I'll kind of just leave that one there for now. And arrow pointing to the mag side. So what I'll do is, I'll just start the little clip in the bottom or somewhere in the groove. And then you just push this side in with your finger until it clicks in. And Bob's your auntie. There, she's in. So, Bob's your auntie. And now, put a little bit of 2-stroke oil in the hole on the wrist pin on this bearing here. And we'll get the wrist pin into the piston. I mean, piston. Get a little bit of 2-stroke oil. Lube her up. That guy's already lubed, but just put a little more on there. More on there. Okay. I'll start this pin. Go flush. Now, gotta line it up. It's gonna be hard to do when I'm not really looking. Just kind of push her through till it stops on the other side. And now we install our last circlip. So I'm going to this side. It's a good idea to keep a rag in there, because if you drop the circlip into the bottom end, you're kinda, well, it's gonna be shitty because you have to rip everything back apart and get that circlip out. And there we go. Pistons are installed. Now we gotta put base gaskets on. I checked the ring end gap. So I have a ring just about a 1/2 inch down from the top here. and it measures out to be 16 thousandths of an inch end gap, so that's pretty much in spec. I think it's between 12 and 18 thou spec, so it's good to go. Ring up these pistons and put the jugs on. Just about to put the jugs on, and I realized that the piston pins are located at the exhaust port side, which to me, that would catch the port and snap the rings, blow the motor up again. So with the arrows pointing to the mag side, we have piston pins on the exhaust side. So I think that's wrong. I'm gonna flip the pistons around so the arrows are pointing to the clutch or PTO side, and that way we're not gonna have any ring catching on any ports, because the intake port doesn't go low enough anyway. So all right, wish me luck. Now we're gonna clean pair of needle nose pliers, and we'll grab the wrist pin circlip here and remove it. Okay, let's put that aside. Now we'll push the pin back out. We gotta swap pistons around, directions around. So that's not gonna work that way. So here are the two pins that were dead center in the exhaust port. So I'm gonna swap these pistons back around now so they're facing PTO side. That's the only way I could see that would fix this. Okay. And the last little clip. There we go. Now the ring pins are on the intake side, which I believe is the way it should be. So if anyone else is using these Odox Piston segmentos, there you go. You're gonna have to install the piston arrows to the clutch side. Oh shit. Rip the fucking gasket. At least I have a spare. Well, thankfully I had another full engine rebuild kit here kicking around. I'm gonna steal the base gasket out of here. And maybe I'll have to order a new base gasket. That kind of sucks. So I didn't want to open that up, but it is what it is. Need some base gaskets, and that's where we're going to get them from. I probably should use the head gaskets from this as well, since it's not as Chinesium, but let's see. Yeah, it looks like a way better quality gasket anyway, so I'm going to use this one for both sides. There, sorry. Got the rings started. And we just got to get them over the studs now, and we're good to go. without damaging anything else. Just push her down. There you have it. I'm not going to torque anything down yet. I'm just going to put both cylinders on and call it good. I'm going to use a little bit of anti-sneeze here, just maybe prevent any stickage or galling or whatever, make it a little easier for me the next time I open this motor up and rebuild it, if there is a next time. Yeah, I'll try stepping over to this side. Might have better luck. So the bottom of the jug has a bit of a taper on the cylinder sleeve here. So basically I start the back just starting to get in, and then I push the rings with my fingers, and then the taper helps it go in. So let's start. Where's the pin? Okay, we're good on that side. Like this. Try to squeeze that closed. Just get that ring started in the bore, like that. And same with the second ring. And I think we're good to go here. Let's try pushing her down a bit. Yeah, there we go. There you have it. Jugs are on. And the ring side is on the intake side, so we're not going to be catching no exhaust ports. I'm going to use all the Chinesium gaskets here. Just worst case scenario, I have to pull the heads and change the gaskets, so not a big deal. Not a big deal at all. There we have it. Actually, let's take a look at this a little closer here. Oh, these like splits in the metal and stuff. I don't know if you can see that. I'll probably have to zoom in for you guys, but I'm sure it's fine. The inside's all good to go. So there you have that. Make sure cylinder heads are all clean. I already scraped everything off. There you go. Let's get the heads on. Call her a day. So the base, I use a crow's foot, and we torque those to 29 foot-pounds. From what I see, the heads are supposed to be around 18 to 20. Some people say 25, but we're doing 20. I'm just gonna snug them up in a crisscross pattern first. Start feeling some torque. Need a different size for that one. There you go. I'll do the other side and we'll get back at her.
Never go full retard.